The GOP to come. Former President Donald Trump is set to make a big announcement tomorrow as Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is gaining traction within the Republican Party. My next guest, by choice, moved from New York to Florida during the pandemic and is very happy with her governor. Joining me now, New York Post columnist Karol Markowicz. Karol, I just wanted to get your read first on Ron DeSantis, where he stands now, and then whatever President Trump might announce tomorrow.
So it's interesting because I think that people don't realize that Florida was hit by a hurricane last week. And I know that that's, kind of a side story to what's going on, in politics right now. But we came back from Election Day, the next day after Election Day, there was a hurricane, there was damage, there's a lot of stuff going on in the state. And I feel like the governor is all over the place working on this, and it's just not being covered at all because everyone's like, what about Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis? But I think the fact that he's got his head down and he's focusing on the job is a big part of his appeal. I think it's like the way that his competence comes across, it's very, very appealing to a lot of people. But I think it's so soon to be having this Donald Trump,
Yes.
Ron DeSantis conversation. Of course, Donald Trump is pushing that conversation by potentially announcing tomorrow. But this election season is going to be a long, long slog, and it's not one that I'm particularly looking forward to.
Well, you touched on that. And so when President Trump was sending out all these missives, not just about Governor DeSantis, but even Governor Glenn Youngkin, and I said on Twitter, I said, meanwhile, Mr. Youngkin is busy running the state that Trump lost twice. But with DeSantis, I have one of my best friends lives in Daytona. And so I was getting text messages from her of the entire, buildings falling into the sea and elderly people who had to be evacuated from their apartments and their homes, and just massive destruction. A swimming pool, the building swimming pool floating on its side in the ocean, while President Trump was attacking DeSantis. And I always said it was policy over personality, but, I would talk about policy all day long, but now it's all personality.
Right. Yes, that's absolutely right. And, I think a lot of the questions the Republican Party is going to have to answer going forward is what they want to be. So I'm not opposed to a drag-out primary. I think it's not a bad idea. I look forward to, maybe multiple candidates joining the fray and finding out what the conservatives, of America stand for. But it just seems to me like it's a touch too soon, and Donald Trump might be stepping on his own toes if he does announce tomorrow. I've heard that it's not 100%. So we'll see what happens. But I think he's only hurting himself by announcing this early.
One of the emerging stories after the election has been that lost independence. That's the title of the Wall Street Journal editorial. I think it's in today's paper. But that was not the case in Florida. If you look in Pennsylvania, 24% of voters identified as independent, and 58% of them voted for Fetterman, 38% for Oz.
Yeah.
Ron DeSantis was able to win 53% of independent voters versus 45% for Charlie Crist. So he was able to do something that other candidates failed to do in the midterms.
Yeah. So again, I think the competency thing is so big for him. You could see him in action, and he's doing a fantastic job. I think nobody in Florida would say that he's not doing a good job. Even the people that hate him, I think, could acknowledge that he's done some really incredible work here. I think with the problem of places like Pennsylvania, Dr. Oz ran mostly on his biography. Biography simply does not work. It does not work in campaigns. You have to have actionable steps that you're going to be taking for the state and why they should vote for you. I think going forward, biographical personality candidates, it's just not the way forward at all for the Republican Party if they want to be winning elections.
But before we go, you moved to Florida during the pandemic. And speaking of that, remember this declaration from President Biden?
The pandemic is over. If you notice, no one's wearing masks. Everybody seems to be in pretty good shape. And so I think it's changing.
But not so fast. The Biden administration is keeping the COVID emergency in place into 2023. Karol, why? They said they need more time to transition to like private companies managing parts of the, testing and whatnot. Do you buy that?
Yeah, not at all. They love the power. My column this week in the New York Post is about how they keep running studies trying to prove that masking in schools worked. It never worked, absolutely never. But they do this because they want to bring back these policies. I absolutely can see in so many places, as I keep saying, I'm very confident in Florida with Governor Ron DeSantis as my governor. If the people watching in blue states, I wonder if they're as comfortable with their governor not bringing back masking in schools. And Biden is a top of the chain. What he says, his throwaway line about the pandemic being over, that he then had to walk back. Who's in charge, we don't really know. But what Biden says is what the Democrats are going to follow here. And the fact that they still think that it's an emergency right now is an issue for anyone living in a blue state.
And despite the school lockdown disaster and the damage it did to children far and wide, I guarantee you, it's obvious Randy Weingarten still has the ear of a lot of those elected officials, sadly.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, that's right. She was with Kathy Hochul, the governor of New York, the day after the election in Puerto Rico, so we know who's in charge there.
Yeah, I'll never get... and that photo of Kathy Hochul with all those kids, and the adults don't have masks on, and the little children have masks on, makes me sick. Not you, though, Karol. You make me happy. Because you call them out, hammer them like a carpenter.
Thank you, Dagan. Thanks
Karol
so much.
Markowicz, good to see you.
Thank you, Dagan. Good to see you.